So I hear you. You think the Randall Cobb thing is okay, but I had two execs that said he's old, he's expensive, he can't play, it's washed. He was a Pro Bowl 7 years ago. He's a diminishing player, and to me, it feels like this is why players are players and executives are executive and coaches are coaches. You just drafted a slot kid whose comp was Randall Cobb. He cost you nothing. I think he was a third-round player. And I'm looking at the Packers, and I'm like, this is not a team up against – when you pay a quarterback $36 million a year, you're up against the cap. You can't be spending $7, $8, $9 million on Randall Cobb. Like, I don't like it at all, but you're okay with it.
Don't look at Randall Cobb in terms of what he's going to add to the team. Look at Randall Cobb in terms of what it did for Aaron Rodgers coming back into camp. That's what this is about. It wasn't that they looked at this and said, hey, we got to go get him back, because he's the difference between us winning the NFC Championship game and not. This was a throw-in, a concession for Aaron Rodgers. And the guy who won this whole Aaron Rodgers Green Bay discussion or debate or conflict is Randall Cobb. He got the best situation of anybody in this. He gets to go play with Aaron Rodgers, and he gets his contract is taking care of it. It's great for him. It's fantastic for him.
Yeah, for Randall Cobb, it's wonderful. You bet.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah, of course. I don't think
he won. He won it.
Yeah. So when you look at the resolution with Aaron Rodgers, the new contract, what was your takeaway on it?
My takeaway on it is if it comes out that he's still under contract for next year, then this is a small W for Aaron Rodgers. Because as long as the Green Bay Packers still have control over his rights next year, then they win. They win. They get him back into camp. He plays all year. They guarantee his $12 million in salary? Who cares? He was going to get that no matter what. And now they still have control over him next season. They throw in a little Randall Cobb thing as a concession, and the Packers absolutely came out on top. And this is more of a face-saving thing for Aaron than anything else. He's in no different spot. They should make this the second to last dance.
Yeah. So this move, I'm surprised it's not getting more publicity. I think Xavien Howard, there's an argument to be made. He's the best corner in the NFL. He led the NFL. He had 10 picks. That is, and by the way, that's a lot of picks in a division where New England and the Jets quarterback situation was unsettled. It's like those teams would prefer running the football. I think he's a generational talent. He's $15 million. I am. If I was a general manager, who doesn't need another top corner? I mean, even if you had Jair Alexander for Green Bay, what do you do if you're Miami and a player this good, and I would imagine you think he's this good, wants out?
They can't they can't move him. They absolutely cannot move him. This organization is in a totally different spot than they have been the last couple of years. They've got to win, and this is their best player. The problem is when you've got Byron Jones setting the bar in terms of salary, and he's in the same film room watching the same plays over and over, and Byron Jones is giving up 108 quarterback rating on throws against him, 17, almost 18 yards per reception, and has 4 career interceptions in 6 years. I understand why he's mad. I get that. And it's insult to injury when you're in the room and watching it. And I promise you, there's a lot of things he's seen that we haven't seen on tape, which probably makes him that much angrier about his current situation. Now, that being said, I don't know if they're going to come to a resolution that he's absolutely happy with, but in terms of guaranteeing some more money for him or trying to do something from a Band-Aid perspective, I think Miami has to do that because they can't trade him. They can't do it at this point in this administration. Otherwise, this administration is not going to be around that much longer.
So Mike Sando comes out. He interviews executives, quarterbacks, coaches. It's very thorough. He puts 4 tiers of quarterbacks. An interesting part of this is that Tua with Miami is like middle to bottom of tier 4. And the comments from executives are, I don't see it. He's not dynamic. When the pocket gets muddy, he diminishes quickly. Listen, they're going to ride and die with him this year. There's no getting around that. But What do you make of Tua? How long can Miami be patient?
Well, I'm first of all, I want to say I'm not saying that he is Tom Brady, but what I am saying is that Tom Brady, his rookie year, was not very good, and he developed a tremendous amount from year one to year two, and then even in year two, when he had an opportunity to play, we scored 3 offensive touchdowns in the playoff run and the Super Bowl. So it wasn't just Tom Brady who led that team to a championship. And he continued to improve year in and year out. So if you look at this player or any player and say after 1 year, your rookie year at the hardest position in the league, at a team that you could say was good offensively, had some good things offensively, but no, by no means was surrounded by dominant talent, that he can't continue to improve, I think that's wrong. And if there is any feeling in the organization that is the case, that they blew it, and they didn't try to rectify it this year when they had such high draft capital, then that's an even bigger mistake. They just compounded it. But we got to give him a chance.
Now, it's interesting, though. Brady did not grow up. Generationally, the game has changed. Tua had 10,000 snaps by the time he was 9 years old. Tua was in camps, quarterback coaching. Brady did not grow up in that environment. Drew Bledsoe always jokes. He's like, I had like 18 high school games. Now there's summer quarterback coaching. So my theory has been I judge quarterbacks differently today than 10 to 15 years ago. My demands are, if you're 16 games in and I don't see it, I'm not going to give you the second, third, fourth year. And I've disagreed with Bill Polian on this. The world's changed. The quarterback coaching's better. If you get to Thanksgiving and you just don't see it, don't you have to, that's when meeting, like Daniel Jones, same thing. He grew up in this generation of quarterback camps, great coaching, 30,000 throws by the time he's 13 years old. Can't we quantify some of it that way?
Well, yes, to a degree. And look, Tua played at Alabama, which was the all-star team. It's hard to judge any quarterback that plays at that system because they're more talented than some NFL teams, and they're almost always more talented than everybody they play. So you've got a little bit of an asterisk there. In terms of pro football versus college football, it's a very different game, and it's very different than high school football too. You're seeing multiples of blitzes, combination coverages, defensive packages. You're asked to do that many more things, and guys build reps at different paces. You wish that every guy came in and picked up things instantly and were good at things instantly, but there's different learning curves, and the demand is so much higher in the NFL than college football. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt, at least in my mind, 2 years and probably 2 years in a training camp.
All right. By the way, that quarterback tier thing, I by and large, we can put it up again. I by and large agreed with it.
Of course you did.
Well, I mean, most of it, I like Derek Carr more than most people, and I think Josh Allen should be at the bottom of tier 1. I would put Derek Carr at the bottom of tier 2. Those are the two guys. I think Derek Carr's the only thing saving Gruden and Mike Mayock right now. It's the one thing I do like about that team. What do you make of Josh Allen not in tier 1?
Well, I think you also forgot Ben Roethlisberger should be in tier 2 too. I know you don't love him at all.
I don't.
With Josh Allen, I like the things that he's done. I like the progress that he's made. I had real concerns about him coming out of college with his accuracy. And the guy was at 69% last year, so he's improved from the first 2 seasons. It's just hard for me to be sold that that's who he is. I think we got to see this year whether or not he can be consistent with that level of accuracy and completion percentage. I'm not sure that he can. It's hard because you don't see a lot of quarterbacks consistently improve accuracy over time.
Yeah. No, he made a gigantic, unprecedented leap in accuracy. So I do get, when people say, we just have never seen a guy go from 56 to 69%. Like, it just doesn't happen in the NFL.
Well, Brian Daboll does a great job in Buffalo, and he's really smart. And it sounds like Josh is a great learner and a great worker from everything I've heard. And that, going back to our Tua conversation, seeing jumps like that, that's what encourages you about young players and young quarterbacks. Now, can he sustain it over time? That remains to be seen. But that level of progress is what gives the guys in Miami hope.
Yeah. Eric Mangini, good seeing you, Coach.
Good seeing you, Colin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.